Alright my friends, so here we are again, reviewing another pair of vintage binoculars, 50s and 60s time period. And this is another one of those that came out of Japan, one of the hundreds of companies that came out of Japan after World War II. Now Japan did have a very strong optics industry, a very high quality before the war from around 1900, but it wasn't, I don't think it's something that was really well known or worldwide. Like the Carl Zeitz in Germany, some French stuff, and British productions. But they had the machinery and they had the skilled labor. So after World War II, this is something that they actually poured a lot of time and effort into it. And because labor was cheap, a lot of companies decided to go to Japan, and that's why you see a lot of stuff made in Japan. And in this occasion, we're going to see something that says in occupied Japan. Now, these are independent focusers, no center focus, which like I said before, I'm really liking these a lot. These deep cups, from the experience that I'm having so far, all my deep cups are very glasses friendly. And I don't know, I can't find any information on this Cosmos company. There's just hundreds of them, so many of them. This is a 7x50 with a 7.1 degree field of view, which is it's what you would call a narrow view. For example, like I said before, I have something that's in the 500 and something feet degree, or 500 feet at 1,000 yards, which is, I think it's going to be putting that at like 10 or 12 degrees, 10 to 12 degrees, something like that. So it's pretty wide. So those are pretty wide. These are a little bit narrow, and as usual, it depends on what type of hobby you're interested in getting into. It'll decide whether or not you want to, if it matters or not. This again, the 10x50s are very nice general purpose binoculars, and these are also very nice general purpose 7x50s. Now, as I mentioned before, these are eccentric ring system for collimation, and that eccentric ring system was actually a very fancy system that they had for very fine tuning of the alignment or collimation. And the glass on this is actually extremely nice. And my Jana is a little bit cheaper than this one, a tiny bit, in that the edges of the view, which you can see here, hopefully in this video, they were a slightly bit warped. And like I said, I think the focus on those Janas was very nice and strong until about maybe 90%, so maybe 10% of it at the edges, or maybe less, were a little bit warped. This one here, looking through with my eyes, the sharpness is completely through and through, 100% left and right. I don't see any warping in any way, shape, or form. It's a very sharp focus, extremely clear, very beautiful. This is far better than anything you would get at $60, $80 at a store right now. And I know because I've looked through those $60 Barskas, which I love Barska stuff, but I have the more expensive stuff than $60. These blow that away, completely blow that away. And these cost me $15 at a swap meet. Okay, $15. So again, as I always say, it's really worth looking at older binoculars. But as I keep saying before, I would not advocate buying anything on sight unseen. Let's put it that way. I told you my experience with the Janas. These, of course, that it was a swap meet. I picked them up, and I said, how much? 15. Sold in like 2 seconds. Sold. 2 seconds is 1.5 seconds too long. They were that beautiful of an image. Hopefully, you can catch it with, I'm recording with my iPhone 6. It's an old one, but it still works really nice. Now, again, on this platform here that I made, that you can buy something nicer for like $13 on eBay. If you have not put your binoculars on tripod, you're really missing out. And I made this. Now, I wouldn't jog with this, but as you can see, it's pretty nice and steady. Okay, it's pretty nice and steady. So again, very nice. You can take great pictures. As I'm taking videos of this, you can take great pictures. And let's go ahead and zoom it in a little bit. Yeah? How about that? Anyway, I'm going to show you some other parts of this binocular. And we're looking at Cucamonga Peak. Right behind it is Mount Baldy. And by the way, if you find these and they're not collimated or they're not aligned, these are unfortunately the eccentric ring system, which is quite a bit of a headache to rearrange. And you can see I took off the beauty ring or the dew cap. I don't know, I keep hearing different things that it's called, different things. So you can see that the eccentric rings are right here. You can see these notches here for the locking ring, and you can see a notch in there. And where's the other one? Oh, there's the other one up there for the two eccentric rings in there. But otherwise, here is Occupied Japan, made in Occupied Japan, Ofuna. So if you see these somewhere and you can go and check them out, I would say that they are worth the trip. A few miles from your house. I've gone 60 miles from my house to buy binoculars, and sometimes they actually worked out, and sometimes they absolutely did not. Because again, your idea of what looks good and works great, works perfect, is somebody else's completely idea. You know, if you're there and you can't see through them, but they're telling you, oh no, they're really great, they're really nice, and then you look at them and you're like, yikes, can't even see through them, they're horrible, they're not even aligned. So that's why I would say don't buy stuff online, or I would stay away from that. If you can go and visit or go and see this stuff, absolutely highly recommend that. Again, this is a Cosmos 7x50 Ofuna, and you'll see different companies that have the Ofuna factory on them, because that's the factory, Ofuna, and made in Occupied Japan. Definitely highly recommend you checking them out if you're looking for very low budget cost wise, but super high quality glass. Definitely worth the trip. Okay, thanks again.